Like any episode of the Big Dog Talk podcast, I need you guys to stick around for this one. This episode, we're going to talk about Pinktober, also known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We want to talk through some facts, how to lower the risk of breast cancer, self-examinations, and when to get your mammogram. So let's get into it. Our facts and our stats are coming straight from the National Breast Cancer Foundation. This one is near and dear to me, so I'm ready to get into it.
Let's go. Happy Pinktober.
Pinktober.
Welcome back to another episode of the Big Dog Talk podcast. It's me, the one and only Big Charles, in the building. You understand me?
You mean in the building in the flesh, Big Charles?
In the Fliz Naive.
Well, it's your girl, Big Shay, and I'm in the building today, and I want to talk about something super important and super special.
Not yet, though. Not yet. I need you to do this for me. I need you guys. I don't ask for favors a lot. Before we get started, Big Charles needs you guys to go to any podcast platform and leave a review, leave a rating. If you think we are 4 stars, leave 5 stars. If you think we are 3.5, leave 5 stars. If you think that our value and our content is 4, leave 5 stars. 70% of our listeners are on Apple Podcasts, but we are on any podcast platform. We need the reviews. What do you do before you go to a restaurant? You check out the what?
I'm checking out the Yelp review.
We need the
looking at pictures of the food. Mm-hmm.
So take this moment for Big Charles. It doesn't cost you anything. We're not asking you for money. We're asking you for ratings, 5 stars. We're asking you for a review, 5 stars. And this will help the podcast spread the word. And if you want to go a step further, share it.
Yes.
Tell someone. Because this is a community, a healing community, and we will not grow without you guys.
Yep. Cutting you off, because at the end of the day, we're giving value-added content.
And we are the best podcast in the Bay Area.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Appreciate it, Kay. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
So back to the episode.
So, yay. You looking good in all that pink.
Okay, thank you.
Fun fact.
Twin and them.
Fun fact.
Twin.
Fun fact.
Twin.
Pink is my favorite color.
Pink is your favorite color, which means that I had no issue with getting you to wear pink today. It's easy. You like, oh, pink? Yeah, let's wear it.
That's my favorite color.
We in pink today.
Shout out to Cameron back in the day when I was in college and he came out with that, rocking that pink. Big Charles been rocking pink ever since.
So much so that, 2 years ago, the theme was pink?
My birthday theme was pink. Your birthday
color theme was pink. Everybody had to wear pink. This year was pink as well.
Pink is my favorite color.
Pink is your jam.
So when y'all come to these live shows and I ask you guys
to wear pink.
Yay.
Wear pink. Okay. But anyway, we are not wearing pink today because it's your favorite color. I know you'd love to think that, but it is clear as day why we are wearing pink today. And this episode, y'all, is really a public service announcement. We want to use this time to raise awareness around what? Breast cancer awareness. October, also known as Pinktober, is the annual campaign to raise the awareness and impact on breast cancer. I could not let the month of October pass this year without paying homage to the survivors, the fighters, and also the ones that we have, the women that we have lost to breast cancer.
You were really adamant this year about.
I was super adamant about not letting.
Wait, you went out of the way to make sure. We were supposed to do another episode.
Yes. Scratch that.
You were like, I was like, we're doing this. You're like, no, we have to do this.
Yep.
So much so that
Yep.
when the Amazon deliverers came to the door, I was like, "Who is that?" You're like, "Oh, that's our T-shirts that we're wearing tomorrow for the episode."
For the episode.
So I respect it.
I mean, I just think that we could have talked about breast cancer, in our normal attire, but I feel like, why not really get into the spirit, Pinktober, the colors pink, and really just unite with the campaign this month, October 2023, around raising awareness and the impact of breast cancer.
So why were you so adamant, though, about having an episode about breast cancer this year?
Really?
No, really.
I know, really, Big Charles. I'm trying to take my breath so I don't get too emotional. So, sharing a little bit. So, my maternal grandmother, my late maternal grandmother, whom I'm actually wearing today, was a breast cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So, her passing away, she didn't pass away from breast cancer. So, I look at her as someone that I knew as a breast cancer survivor. From afar, I watched her go through all the things, when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, the impact that it had on, our family.
So this is personal.
The treatments, what the treatments look like, how it made her feel, how it changed her. So I've experienced breast cancer very up close and personal.
Well, this is personal.
This is personal. And then, so even since experiencing that with her, there are a couple of other people that are close to me that have been diagnosed with breast cancer in recent years that I have watched and experienced them fight, and go through the treatment of breast cancer. So I just feel like we have a platform, right? The Big Dog Talk podcast is a platform. And so I was really passionate about using our platform this year to really raise awareness, one, from a personal aspect, but two, just from educating. Like, I'm a teacher in real life, so I'm really big on taking moments like this to educate.
Right.
And you can't assume that people know. You would think that in 2023, a lot of people would know facts and risk and, early detection around breast cancer, but I don't want to assume. I just want to shed light and awareness on the topic.
Let's go. Let's dive into it. Can I start off with the questions?
I'm here. Let's get into it.
Because you're talking fast.
Let's get into it.
I want to slow it down.
Okay.
Because
it's my passion that's exuding.
So, and I want to slow it down because I can tell how passionate you are about it. And my brain went to, I actually forgot about Nana Grace going through surviving breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So before we even dig into that part.
Right. While I gain my internal.
While you gain your internal.
Recalibrate my nervous system with that. Thank you.
I wonder, so as a man,
right,
I was nervous about this topic.
I know, so much so that you made me feel like, should we do it?
wait. I was nervous about it because I felt like I didn't have too much to say or I didn't feel like I was a help in this conversation.
A contributor. Yeah, I felt
that. But as I started thinking and my brain started rolling and spinning, I also have some questions that from the outside looking in, I would like to know to represent the men as well.
Right.
But anyway, let's get into it. How many people die from this particular cancer?
So I don't have specific facts on how many people die from it. I do know that breast cancer is the second leading cause of death among women. The second leading cause of death among women is breast cancer, which is a huge, huge number. 1 out of 8 women will develop breast cancer.
So is this something that we can prevent, or is it genetic? What can you do? What give you a better chance and not getting breast cancer?
So even before we go any further, I just want to put a pin in it and note that the statistics and the facts that I'll be sharing today come from the National Breast Cancer Foundation. I
Okay.
think that's important to say. It's just not stuff that I'm pulling, from the sky. It's statistics that have been put out there by a reputable foundation around breast cancer. So when you speak about lowering the risk of breast cancer, it sounds super easy, the things that we can do, but I don't think as women, it's things that we consciously and intentionally apply to our lives.
So there are things that you can do to lower the risk.
There are definitely things that we can do to lower the risk of breast cancer. For example, keeping a healthy weight, right? And we don't have to necessarily get into like BMI and numbers and why that's skewed, but we do need to focus on being healthy, being a healthy weight, being active, exercising, knowing what you're putting into your body and try to eat, as much healthy food as you can. Alcohol, we like to drink.
Wait, so the food that you eat,
Yes,
has something contributes
it
to
can be.
either higher or lowering the risk of breast cancer.
I'm going to go ahead and add from logic that if keeping a healthy weight and being healthy is a lowering risk factor, then that simply means that we should be monitoring the things that we put into our body. We should be, eating more home cooked meals. We should be eating lots of vegetables, lots of green leafy vegetables, drinking a lot of water, eating a lot of fruit, eating healthy proteins, minimizing our carbohydrate intake, minimizing all the fast foods because we really don't know what's in the foods that we buy. So we have to do our best to try to prepare as many healthy meals for ourselves and for our families as a way of lowering breast cancer.
So when you say this, though, when you're giving these facts, the information that you're giving, it sounds respectfully like common sense.
That's what I was saying earlier.
To eat healthy, to take care of yourself, to be conscious of the intake, your
Right.
movement, the food that you put inside of your body, the amount of water that you drink, the stress levels. It sounds common sense to me, though.
Right.
So that this is something that you would think that a person would want to do anyway.
Right. I mean, that is just
A small piece
a
of it?
small piece of taking care of yourself. So, a couple of other things that go into that are specifically women related, right? So, there's a no alcohol or drink in moderation. Also, a part of that, like you would think people would want to do the top three things: eat healthy, exercise, and limit the amount of alcohol that you drink. But the other things are like women, a lot of us have taken birth control, will take birth control. We need to be knowledgeable about birth controls and knowing the risk factors around those things and how it can or can impact our chances of developing breast cancer. They say breastfeeding your children is a wonderful way to lower the risk of breast cancer. So those two last items are very woman specific,
Uh,
if
uh,
that makes sense.
no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So my question is this then: are there any signs? I'm asking. I'm asking out of.
I love
I'm
that.
asking out of. It's an unknowledgeable, ignorant man when it comes to. I represent the men today.
So I don't think, I mean, you could say
So
that
hold
you
on.
represent the men, but you can also be representing other people that have never really taken the time to dig into this topic. One, because they just don't know. Two, because the information is not readily available to them.
Okay.
Or three, because they haven't had a like close relationship with it to even make you want to think about breast cancer.
So are there any early signs that possibly may show that would make you want to say, okay, let me get to the doctor and check on this?
Absolutely. So, one of the things as women that we are encouraged to do, there are two big things that women are encouraged to do around early detection. So, it sounds like you're asking about early detection. So, before we even get into those specific things, early detection has.
Oh, if I asked you the question.
So you're talking about how to early detect, and I'm saying so early detection has declined the death rate of breast cancer by 39%. So this is really important in order for women to be able to do things to detect breast cancer early. So one of the things is self-examinations. So we've been encouraged over years to make sure that we are self-examining our own breast and check for things like nipple discharge. Check for things like lumps in the areas of your breast. Check for things like swelling or redness in your breast area, rashing or crusting around your nipple area, and any like change in like skin texture around your breast area. Those are things that when we do our self examinations in the shower, out the shower, which should occur on a monthly basis, would send you to say, something might not be right. And that could be early detection because they're also, if you're not doing those things to recognize, lumps in your breast or going to get your mammogram, then that cancer could fester inside of you. And when you detect it later, it could decrease your survival rate.
So you said earlier, so again, because you kind of extended that answer.
Yep.
What are the early signs that someone that don't know could do to possibly save themselves from, uh, let's just say, having a higher risk at breast cancer?
So women should do two things: frequent self-examinations.
Thank you.
And go get your mammogram.
And you said during that, you said it lowers the risk by how much?
It lowers that's early detection decreases has early detection has decreased the death rate by 39% in women. So if women are doing self-examinations on a regular basis and women are getting mammograms, which is a mammogram is an x-ray of your breast. It's taking a picture and it's specifically to detect breast cancer. And women should do that as early as 40 and no later than 50.
I'm not trying to sound perverted. I'm really not trying to sound perverted. And I don't need anyone taking this the wrong way. But I'm being serious though.
Okay.
That's exactly like a lot of times I feel on your breast like when you land in the bed. I'm not trying to be funny though.
Because you want to see if they feel different.
I really because I do think about that, and that's something that we don't talk about.
Oh wow.
So when we land in the bed and I'm just rubbing on you and I'm caressing you, sometimes you think I'm being annoying because I'm.
You want to be starting something.
So is that a way though that men can possibly help?
I've never thought about it like that, but
I'm not trying
to. As a husband who knows his wife's body, I think you would be able to detect.
I mean,
if something was off, excuse me, in my breast area. Right. In all seriousness. Right. In all seriousness, now that I think about it, yeah, men can contribute positively in that way from a not a self-exam but a partner exam perspective.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that more.
Or it's all in all seriousness.
Right. I wonder. So let's slow it down from the facts, though. I wonder, and you can, and hopefully I'm wording this right.
Okay.
How do you think when a woman experiences breast cancer, how does it affect her emotionally, spiritually, like internally? Like what? I know you can't speak and say exactly how a woman feel, but it's these questions are starting to spin to me, spin in my brain, and I do want to know though, how do you think a woman would feel? How do you think a woman feels going through that? Because the body changes or something, right?
Well, I'm gonna do my best to answer your question, and respectfully, I'm gonna try to answer that question not from a firsthand experience,
Mm-hmm.
but from a secondhand experience of watching women that have been close to me go through the process. And just as a woman in general, like I can't even imagine being diagnosed with breast cancer. If that were my
No,
reality,
I don't want you to speak from that.
no, I'm just saying as a woman, if that were my reality, then you would definitely feel like you're fighting for your life because you are fighting for your life. And you are um taking a chance with the treatments.
So do
Because
you
it
think that it affects the internal spirit, like the spirit?
well,
Do you think it'll take away from their
you
confidence?
have to let me speak because with that, with some of those treatments, it can change you physically.
Mm-hmm.
And also, one of the most drastic changes, some women have to have a have one of their breasts cut off.
Mm-hmm.
And then through chemo, some women lose most, you're going to lose your hair, you're going to lose your eyebrows and things like that. So there are some physical aspects to treatment as it relates to being diagnosed with breast cancer that absolutely is going to impact your spirit. It's going to impact your mental health. And it's going to be very important for you to be surrounded with people that are 100% supportive of the process. I've seen that with my own eyes.
I actually had a client that had breast cancer when I used to, and I now this is way, way, way before me.
Mm.
Um, and she had a picture on her wall
Mm-hmm.
with half of her breast cut off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it just like made me think, like the confidence part. Like how can a and she had a partner.
Mm-hmm.
How can a man like be supportive in that area? Because I know that you're going through a lot internally. I know more than likely, mentally you're struggling with your physical appearance, so like I'm really trying to figure out like how can men support that. I'm trying to put myself in the not in the situation, but how can we be a part of contributing to making that journey easier? What did you do for your grandmother to make it easier for her?
So for my grandmother and other people that I've known too, but my grandmother in particular, whenever she had an appointment because she was in one state and I was in another state. So whenever she had appointments, I would call and ask her how she was feeling, or I would know when she would have appointments. Even when she was losing her hair, we would talk about that. And when I would go to see her, like I was one person that she's always trusted with her hair, so I would do natural remedies to her hair to promote the growth while I was there. So I'd braid it, wash it, shampoo it, oil her scalp and different things like that. So all that I could really do is be a supportive factor throughout the process. And as it relates to like even watching my own mother be a supportive factor, she was at every single doctor's appointment. She was talking to every single doctor. She was buying, specific things that my grandmother needed in order to, feel good about herself and feel supported. Now, luckily, like my grandmother didn't have to have one of her breasts.
Cut off.
Yeah, she didn't have to go through that process, but she did have to go through extensive amounts of chemotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
Radiation, the pills, and things like that. She lost weight. Like there are physical aspects to that. The treatments, and you're putting a lot of
This makes me nervous,
faith in science as a woman when you're diagnosed with breast cancer, because every treatment is not going to work the same for everybody because we all have different bodies. Which is why I can't stress enough why the self examinations and the mammograms are super duper important because those two big items contribute to early detection.
Mm-hmm.
Early detection has a bigger chance of being a survivor of breast cancer because you're getting the treatment earlier in the process versus it has spread throughout different parts of your breast in your body or having to get a breast removed.
So again, I'm because this is like hitting home now, and I'm so my questions may sound, I feel like a little tense,
You're doing a good job, though. You're doing a really, really good job.
Is it a certain race or a certain culture that that's at a higher risk to developing breast cancer?
Well, Big Charles, according to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, Black women have the highest breast cancer incidence before the age of 40 in the United States.
Why? So why is that though? Is it because of like food or something? I don't get like. Is it genetically?
So I don't have the answers to that. I don't want to, fabricate that. But as Black women, we are at higher risk. And we could go a million different ways, with that. But again, with a public service announcement, some things I don't want to dive all the way into without being factual because this is a big topic.
This is.
But before the age of 40. And most doctors don't recommend that you get a mammogram
Until like 40,
until
right?
40, unless you have a health history of breast cancer in your family, like me, my grandmother. So my mom, she goes more frequently. Me, I think I was like 39 right before turning 40. So if it's a health history in your family, then they recommend that you do it before 40.
And you said what lowering the risk is by eating healthy, um, less alcohol, exercise,
Yep.
Early detection, like self-examining in the shower.
Exactly.
I'm repeating what you said to make sure I got it in my mind.
Yeah. You passing the test, Big Charles.
Well, here's the thing, though. I don't want to be the only one to pass the test.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because this is if it's more geared towards the African American community and African American women, I don't want to be the only one passing the test, because one thing I do realize, Big Shay, is that we don't lack education in this world. We lack application.
Very good. I like that.
We don't lack education in this world. We lack application.
I love that you said that.
And I'm saying that with love and with passion. If we know that we're supposed to eat healthy, if we know that we're supposed to exercise, if we know that we're supposed to lower our alcohol intake, if we know that we're supposed to self-examine ourselves in the shower, if we know these things,
go get a mammogram.
If we know these things
and the risk factors,
knowing isn't enough.
That's very true. Very true.
And I'm saying this respectfully, out of love. I'm hoping you guys are not taking this out of context. Application. After these facts that Big Shay is giving you and I today, what are we going to do to lower the risk? How can me as a man be there to support you as a woman, all of the women out there? How can we support? Do I hold you accountable?
Right. I love that.
No, we not eating that today.
Right.
No, we're gonna be more aware and more conscious and more disciplined when it comes to the food that we eat.
Right.
No, we're going to go for a walk 3 or 4 times out of the week. No, we're not going to do that to our bodies. No.
Did you do your self-exam this month? Did you do it? Stuff like that. When is your mammogram? You about to be 44. Did you schedule your mammogram? Seriously. That's big talk.
When you said that African American women are at a higher risk, that definitely took my anxiety up to another level.
And don't forget, you got 8 women in a room. Just think about it like this. You have 8 women in the room, regardless of race. 1 out of those 8 women will develop breast cancer.
Wow.
That's a 12% of women. On average, every 2 minutes, a woman in the United States is diagnosed with breast cancer. So this even though I've had personal experiences with it and it's in my health history, this even raised more awareness for myself, because I'm past the age of 40. I have it in my health history. So I got to make sure that I keep checking the box of lowering the risk. I got to make sure that I keep checking the box of self examinations, which for me, I need to get better at that. I need to make sure that this week I'm scheduling my mammogram. I'm going to get that on the books because I can't really play with it.
Did you say earlier something like breast cancer is like in the top 5 reasons? Something like what?
Breast cancer is the second leading cause of death among women. Second. And just for the facts of, well, what's number one, just in case somebody's brain is like, well, if breast cancer is number 2, what's number 1 amongst women? Women, lung cancer.
Hold on, time out. So, as a person that's in health and fitness,
big time you are.
After giving like the facts, after this just raised my awareness.
I love that.
To another level.
Love it.
But it also made me think about a book that I read as well. And it's called Eat for Your Blood Type.
That book actually changed my life.
Eat for Your Blood Type. This is what I recommend. This is what I recommend. This is a book that I read. This is a book that matter of fact, let me just tell you how this book came into my life. I was working at Chase Bank. And this lady, this African-American lady, she was like 75 years old, did not look a lick of 75. Melanin, dark melanin skin, no wrinkles, hair like a fresh gray hair, strong woman walking in there smiling. And I asked her, I said, ma'am, what do you do to make your skin glow like that? And she started telling me about all of the foods that she eats and what she don't eat. And then she recommended this book called Eat for Your Blood Type.
Right.
She said, don't try to make it a diet. Just start taking bits and pieces of the recommendations in the book and add a little bit over time.
Right.
What I recommend, find out what your blood type is.
Very good.
Find out what your blood type is. Blood type O, which is your blood type O.
I am a blood type O.
Which are more carnivores, meat eaters. I'm a blood type A, which is more of a fish and vegetable type of eater. And the book also breaks down certain foods that you shouldn't eat because you're more prone to cancer.
Yep. Me, I got to stay away from too many carbs. They don't process in my body well. That could turn into a cancerous cell.
This book, we're not sponsored by this book, but this book is particularly for the ones that care. Like I said earlier, it's not even about education, it's about application.
Right.
We know a lot. But hopefully that for someone that can take this episode seriously, Eat for Your Blood Type is a book that I recommend. And I also recommend that you go to your doctor and you find out your blood type. Find out your blood type, and then you go and look in that book and you go and take little bitty steps. It's the small wins that make a big difference. That's
right. And as it relates to finding out your blood type, keeping it 100, they will try to give you a little bit of pushback and not readily give it to you. You deserve to know your blood type.
I was trying not to go there.
You deserve to know your blood type.
You will get pushback when you call and ask the doctor for if you can get a blood test because you want to know your blood type.
Yes.
For what reason, I don't know. From my experience, I got pushback. The people that I know that did the same thing, they got pushback.
Right.
But it's necessary for you to learn your blood type because we really want to lower the risk.
Yep. Big talk.
I wish we had somebody on here that survived it, that had the experience, that really could share their story and their passion.
I know.
And also could answer the questions because I do want to know, like, how did it affect them emotionally?
Absolutely.
I do want to know how did it affect them spiritually. Especially like if you were in a relationship? How did it affect the relationship?
Right.
If you were single, how did you feel being by yourself going through this? How could we support you through this journey?
Right.
Because all of that stuff matters.
It all matters. And even with my grandmother, she developed breast cancer I think it was in her 70s.
Yeah.
Later in life. Much later in life. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I agree with what you said. I do wish we had someone here to kind of answer those firsthand questions from just a personal experience perspective. However, we did provide a lot of information today. I feel personally that on this episode, we intentionally joined the campaign, intentionally joined Pinktober to raise awareness and talked about the impact of breast cancer. We gave facts. We gave ways to lower the risk. And we gave tips on early detection and what early detection does. Piggybacking off what you said, you can give all the information and education in the world. And this is all out of love. Apply. Application is what changes the results.
Let's make a commitment to ourselves to do better.
Yes. Let's
make a commitment to ourselves to do better, to take care of ourselves. We want to live longer. You know, we have a saying that we always say that I'm willing to die for our family. Right. I'm willing to die for my friends. I'm willing to die for my husband.
I love you to death.
I love you. No, love me to life. Don't die for me. Eat healthy for me. Because I want you here for a long time. Right. I want you to be around. Don't die for me. Don't love me to death. Love me to life.
Love that.
Let's do better, man. Anything else, beloved?
No, and that, family, is our public service announcement.